I want to discuss, and I want you to think about the COVID vaccine in light of loving your neighbor. Loving your neighbor, okay? So, lots of Christian thought has gone on around this. If you watch Christian TV or somebody sends you YouTubes, you've probably heard by now that maybe the COVID vaccine is the mark of the beast. In that, and here's the logic, is that the mark of the beast in the book of Revelation says if you don't have it, then you won't be able to buy and sell. You'll be cut off from trading without the mark of the beast. And so there's some people saying, well, there's talks of if you don't have COVID vaccine, you won't be able to go to ShopRite. Well, how many of you know that hasn't happened? It doesn't seem like that is happening, all right? To me, it doesn't biblically take that test, because the mark of the beast in the book of Revelation, you're getting it. You're swearing allegiance to a person called the Antichrist, all right? I don't think there's one person that's asking you to take the COVID vaccine that's the Antichrist, okay? I don't see it, all right? There seems to be no evidence that there is a chip that is getting implanted in your body. There seems to be no evidence that people are going to track you because of a secret chip that's in your, again, those are Christian charismatic rumors. There seems to be no evidence to that whatsoever, okay? But here is where people really are affected, is to think, okay, but is this going to affect my health? All right, am I going to be able to have kids? A lot of younger people are thinking about that. Will this, both as a female, will this affect my ability to get pregnant or to breastfeed? And as a male, will this affect my ability to procreate as a future husband one day? All right, and so people are thinking about these things. And they're affected. Now, as I was kind of contemplating on this, and again, please hear me out. What I'm talking about today is for you. It's for the context of Miracle Life Family Church. This is a pastoral message, this little part. This is for you as Miracle Life people. That's the context of this message today. All right. But let's ask ourselves, should people in Africa be concerned about things that are somewhat, you could say, given to them or introduced to them by what we say the West? All right, is there any historical reason to believe that the West maybe has it out for Africa? Yes. You ever heard of something called slavery that has ruined the lives of people for centuries, and we're still dealing with those implications? Colonization that happened virtually on every nation on the African continent. Both systems were meant to exploit people for the benefit of the few, of the powerful. So if you're sitting in Zambia and thinking, well, the West wants me to do that, they've got 300 years and I can tell they really love me. No, there hasn't been 300 years of love. Is there reason to be doubtful? Yes, there's reason to be doubtful. All right. Is this the same, really is the question, isn't it? Is this the same system that has been hurtful or harmful to my relatives and to people that I know? All right, so I think that's a question, all right? What I do know is that wherever man has meant for evil, God can turn for good. God can turn for good. And it's very, very interesting that Africa now, spiritually, is the powerhouse spiritually in the church to bless back to nations that were not blessing them 200 years ago. There are entire denominations in the world today that are being kept alive by African faith and African belief in the Bible. Those denominations would be dead today if it wasn't for the faith that was that's alive on this continent. Okay, so yes, the past has happened, but let's talk about today. All right, so can we ask a question? What about God and medicine? Because if God is a healer, maybe I don't need the vaccine. I'll just trust God. I saw a pastor that said this, Jesus is my vaccine. Okay, Jesus is a lot of things, but he's not your vaccine. Okay. Think about this verse here, 1 Timothy 5:23. I want you to think about this verse. No longer, this is Paul speaking to Timothy, who is a pastor. He's a spiritually mature believer. No longer drink only water, but use a little wine for your stomach's sake and your frequent infirmities. Okay, this is not social drinking. Okay, this is not social drinking. This is not you going out for Wednesday wine day. Okay, Chardonnay with the girls. Okay, take wine for your stomach's sake. Okay, here's what the Bible is saying. The Bible is saying, introduce something into your body for medical reasons. Introduce something from the outside to the inside, because once you receive it, it will help fight off germs and disease. Is that what it's saying? It's absolutely saying that. And here's the thing. Wine is not something that is naturally produced. Okay, you don't go pick a wine fruit. Okay, it's concocted, it is made to have certain properties, and then it's introduced. Okay, so this was very basic science and medicine 2,000 years ago. But I believe what God is saying, that I want you at times to bring things into your body that will have health benefits. Do you know that some of the Levitical laws in the Torah about washing, and if you have leprosy, go outside of the camp, and if this happens, dig a hole, put it under the hole, and stay away for 14 days. Those were health regulations that were far beyond their time. They were not gathered from other nations. They were given by God, by Yahweh, to his people to keep them healthy. But it wasn't just to keep them healthy. It was to keep each other healthy. God knew that certain diseases would be spread person to person, or through hugging, or through kissing, or through eating together, or through not washing properly. God was way ahead of his time. Now here's what I think, and I see there, is that, how many know God healed supernaturally under the old covenant? He is Jehovah Rapha, the God who heals you, and at the same time, he's the God who gives you health regulations. It's not either or. It's not Jesus is my vaccine. Jesus is my Savior, he's my healer, and I am thankful that a bunch of smart people figured out how to keep me safe from COVID. And so that's why my wife and I got vaccinated. That's why our board chair got vaccinated. And our previous board chair got vaccinated. And the board chair before that got vaccinated. And a ton of our staff at Miracle Life have been vaccinated. We haven't made them or mandated, it's a personal decision, okay? But it keeps us safe, and I also think it helps me loving you. I am a very low risk COVID spreader now towards you, okay? And when I'm with my mom and I can kiss her now, I like that, because I'm not gonna give her something. She's 82 years old. She's not exactly, strong in health, but I don't have to worry that I'm gonna introduce something to her life that's gonna hurt her, that maybe I picked up accidentally, okay? So what I'm asking you to do is I'm asking you to reconsider your decision about getting vaccinated. And I know a ton of people at Miracle Life have, but I'm asking, if you've decided not to, I'm asking you to, I wouldn't say just prayerfully reconsider it, mindfully reconsider it. Think about the scriptures. Think about the things that have been presented. All right. Now, I just want to read this, and I think the best way is just to quote Dr. Roma Chilenge, our board chair, who is also an epidemiologist. And I asked him just some of his thoughts this week. All right. And he's been involved in this space for the last 20 years. All right. Dr. Roma Chilenge. That is not a name from the UK. All right, he's not a colonial oppressor. Okay, he is a true-blooded Zambian. All right, but so I just asked him. I said, why would it be helpful? Why would the vaccine be helpful? And he said this: given the characteristics of COVID, I believe that the vaccine is the most effective intervention that will limit transmission. Other available recommendations like masking and social distancing are not sufficient, particularly that they depend on human behavior. Precedence has it that other historical infectious diseases have been controlled and some eliminated, like polio and smallpox and many others. Okay? I asked him, I said, well, what do you think about the safety of the vaccine? Is it going to be harmful? Will it make men impotent? Will it make ladies not be able to have children? And he said, on vaccine safety, it's important for us to understand there is no medicinal intervention that has no adverse effects. We also always consider the risk-benefit ratio. While technology has allowed COVID vaccine development to be done quickly, no regulatory shortcuts have been done. In fact, no other vaccine has ever been developed and deployed under such intense public scrutiny, aided by uncontrolled social media. I've been working in the vaccine space for 20 years now. Have you? I haven't. And he didn't say that, I said that, okay. This is back to Dr. Roma here. And everything I know about vaccines was learned similarly. I have no reasons to believe COVID vaccines are deleterious. I said, what does that mean? He says, bad, all right? The system works such that if truly the vaccine is unsafe, we will know and appropriately withdraw it from use as soon as evidence is available. There are more tools and technologies now than ever before to help us accurately detect problems. So I am very comfortable as a practitioner to unreservedly recommend COVID vaccines. My family and I have been vaccinated. End of quote. All right, my family and I have been vaccinated. All right, what does the Bible says? Love does no harm to its neighbor. All right, so please don't let anyone leave Miracle Life today and say, well, Pastor Walker says he says you got to be saved to get vaccinated. Jesus and vaccines. No. I'm saying mindfully and biblically reconsider your decision. Okay. I know there's some young men that say, well, no, if I get the vaccine, I won't be able to father children. I know this is a mixed crowd. I'd use different language if this was the Brave Men's Conference. But they said, I won't be able to perform. Well, there's no medical evidence that says that about vaccines. Now, here is the deal. Those who have been COVID positive have 6 times higher rates of some male problems. 6 times higher. So if you're a male and you're concerned about that, you should be the first one in line for the COVID vaccine. Sign me up. Keep me strong. Okay. I hope that was okay for a mixed crowd here. All right.